we've only been doing this now since the pandemic. So you're looking at 5-6 years max since 2020 is 2026 now. So you're looking at 5.5, 6 years. We haven't had any real honest debate between the sisters and the brothers. What you've had before, and let's just get right to this, right? What you've had before now is the Black Manosphere. You haven't had the Black Manosphere. Before the Black Manosphere came along, you had, we all know it, we can, call the roll. Oprah, all the daytime talk shows, Essence, Madame Noir, et cetera, plus the films and the books and all the rest of it. And it was a very curated type of discussion. They would have hand-picked brothers that they would bring on, and they would kind of, stand in for black men writ large. What changed with the Black Manosphere raising hand is that we brought in the rank and file everyday brother. And their voices were centered and heard. And that's what upset the apple cart. So now we're having real discussions. For the first time, to be brutally frank, we're having actual discourse now. We're having real discussions. And I think we've only really scratched the surface. For real, when you really think about it. We've only scratched the surface. There's a lot more to discuss. And that brings us to tonight's show. Because the question I have on the docket is very simple. Are black women truly partners?
Some of you may need to listen to this twice. I don't walk away from people to punish them. I walk away because I learned my lesson. See, there comes a moment in life where and when you finally understand something, you can either keep shrinking your standards or you can protect your peace. And I made my decision. I would rather adjust my life to someone's absence than adjust my boundaries to someone's disrespect. And it's not anger, it's wisdom. You see, when I was a young cat, I heard a simple truth that bad company ruins good character. I didn't understand it then, but life has a way of teaching you what words can't. Some people bring growth and some people bring stress. And once you understand and know the difference, you cannot unsee it. So when I step away from certain people, I'm not losing nothing. I am making room. I'm making room for peace. I am making room for healthy relationships. I am making room for what God actually has for me. Because when you know your worth and your value, letting go is not the end. It's actually the beginning of something greater and better. And if this message speaks to you, protect your peace and keep growing.
Why do men lose more often in family law court? My name's Rachel King. I'm a strategic litigator. I do family law. And it seems that there's a general consensus, at least among men, that they lose or get the short end of the stick more often in family law court than women. So let's talk about some of the things that I see men do that might be better to avoid. First, money matters. I get it. Money matters to every single person on both sides of a divorce or a child custody. But having your focus be solely on money can really be detrimental in not only your divorce, but your child custody. Why? Because family law is a court of equity, so they're really trying to look at fairness. If you are constantly keeping your eye on dollars, then the court sometimes thinks that you're not trying to be fair. 2, complaining constantly about the ex lying. I get it, and the court gets it, and the court is actually going to weigh who they believe more. But if you're constantly bagging on the other party, it is not only deteriorating your character and trustworthiness, but also you're wasting time and you're not really telling the court what you want. And lastly, don't focus so much on how mom is doing all of these things and is keeping you away from your child, or mom this or mom that. Really, you want to focus on what you want, why you want it, and why you think it's fair.
Modern women continue to screw themselves really honestly and truly. I don't need a man. He don't got to buy me this. I buy this for my own self and all that other stuff. You're so loud. You're so boisterous with it. You're so bold. You're so confident with it that the man actually heard you. He really heard you. And when he starts responding to what he heard, all of a sudden it's, well, you didn't have to act like that and you didn't have to do that. And I still need you for these things. But you screwed yourself by talking the way that you talk.
You got to stop explaining things. You got to stop justifying your actions. When she presents something to you, she says, I'm hurt in some way, shape, or form. She's presenting her emotion to you. Your explanation feels like dismissal. She says, I'm hurt about how you said what you said. And then you say, well, the reason I said what I said is basically translated to, I heard that you are in pain, but I'm going to tell you why I shouldn't feel guilty. I'm going to choose myself and my self-preservation over the feeling that you're presenting as someone I care about, the emotion that you're explaining to me or showcasing to me. I care about that less than my ego and self-preservation. Does that make sense? Does the reasoning behind your behavior matter? Sure. It's just that when you present it first, it smacks her feeling off the table and centers your justification. That's going to hurt more than the harm she's presenting. You are making your situation worse, even though your ego, your mind is saying, now I'll make it better by telling her that she shouldn't feel the way she's feeling because what I really meant to say was this. Does that make sense? You got to take in what she's saying to you, empathize with what she's sharing with you, listen to it, acknowledge it, validate her feelings. And then when the emotions have kind of dissipated a little bit and things are down on a certain level, then you can say, I'm really sorry that I hurt you. This is what I was trying to do. Clearly, it didn't land the right way, and I feel bad about that, and I'm sorry, but this is why. Your reason can still have room in the conversation. It cannot be the first thing that comes out of your mouth when she's saying, this is how I feel. Understand?
Have you ever wondered why there's a male loneliness epidemic, but there isn't a female epidemic? Shouldn't we be just as lonely? Aren't there our counterparts? It's actually because we aren't lonely. In fact, most of us felt lonelier when we were with you. The other part of this is women like being around other women. Y'all don't even like being around each other. And in our loneliness, after we realized how many times you guys were going to keep disappointing us, we found ways to be fulfilled. And in that, we realized, hey, this is a lot more peaceful. What did you guys do? You opted out and you numbed. You leaned into your porn addiction. You never emotionally evolved. You never developed any type of emotional skills to cope with all of the pain, all of the shame, all of the inadequacy that you feel. You men are struggling. And this is why I actually can't believe that men aren't against the patriarchy, because you are suffering in the patriarchy. You are drug addicts in the patriarchy. You are committing in the patriarchy. You cannot talk about your feelings because of the patriarchy. You kept getting lonelier and lonelier. And let me tell you, loneliness is what happens when you refuse to grow, but still expected to be loved. And women are done. And you want to know what our result is we don't have a loneliness epidemic. We have an entire epidemic where women are realizing that they have much less labor, where they are realizing that they have much more peace, where they aren't emotionally dysregulated because they're not being. And women built emotional skills to deal with your. And now look what happened is we have out-evolved you to the point where so many women are like, this is actually better, but we are not the ones that are lonely. You are, and that should be a problem to you.
Boys are watching their fathers say yes when they don't want to. And that is shaping the kind of men they become. A lot of men learned early that keeping the peace matters more than standing their ground. Boys are being raised by fathers who put themselves last, and society is pushing the narrative that that's a good thing. But a lot of times, that's not a man choosing to go without so his family is good. It's a man who has to comply with his wife. A man who has to submit just to keep the peace in his own home. Yes, he is a hard worker and he is a provider. So on the surface, that looks good. But watch closely. He's not leading. He's adjusting, saying yes, going along, trying to avoid making anything a problem. And over time, the relationship starts to run on her terms. Her mood sets the tone. Her reactions sets the boundaries. And the boy is watching all of this because that's what his father is modeling. He watches his father say yes all the time. because he knows what happens if he says no. And the mother doesn't realize that she is emasculating her son. That little boy doesn't question that. He becomes what he sees. So what does he learn? Please the woman. Say yes to the woman. Because if you don't, there's going to be to pay.
And you continue to have a lot of these modern women who say they can't find a good man anywhere, right? And a lot of modern women don't really want to sit with the fact that they're not good women. That's why you can't find a good man. You're not a good woman. And so a man that is actually a good man, even though you might be pretty and you know, you might dress well and you're a boss babe and stuff, you really don't have a lot in common with him because you're not really all that great of a person when it gets down to it. You're good at some things, but you're not really that complete package that he needs.
Scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love coming to Costco with your wife? 0. How much do you love coming to Costco with your wife? 0. Can I say negative? So what's the number? 0.
Genuine question. Why do men get married? Why do you need women for? Why do you need your wives if you hate them? Isn't it easier to just stay single or be gay? Clearly you're all gay. You hate your wife.
I'm going to give my perspective here, but before I do, I just want to point this out here. No ring. I'm sure it's completely irrelevant, but here we go. My wife knows I don't like going to Costco, but she still asks me and still wants me to go, and I go with her. Now, I go with her because of her. Now, it doesn't mean I have to like going to Costco. And just because I don't like going to Costco doesn't mean I hate her. All those men were there. Think about that. You're asking men that are at a place if they like being there, and they say no, 0, but they are there. And this woman is still finding some negative way of looking at it and saying, why do you get married? Why do you hate your wives? Just be. What are you talking about? Like, I do stuff all the time for my wife that I don't like, and she does a lot of stuff for me that she doesn't like. That's marriage, dummy. Like, what are you expecting? And it makes me think that's probably why you're single. You don't understand men. You don't understand marriage. I don't like going to Costco, but I do it. My wife doesn't expect me to like going to Costco. She just wants me there. I'm so happy my wife isn't one of these darn nasty feminists. Goodness gracious, I looked out.
Would a 50-50 man for you disqualify?
Absolutely.
Disqualify? What if he... Okay.
Like, I haven't met him. I wouldn't even have met that man. A man that wants to be like half and half had never met me. Wait. I didn't meet him. He wasn't even in my room. I never met a man like that. Literally. I never met the man. Seriously, like, there's no way you looked at me and was like, yeah, we going to... Like, I never met him.
Okay.
I'm not running across him. No disrespect to this man. But I ain't never seen him before. Walk on by him.
SD, what's up?
The facts of the matter are that the vast majority of people here, especially black people, would be smart to go 50-50 with each other. Because half the men and over half the women make $50,000 or less. You know what I'm saying? And for black people, us, when you look at where we sit as far as household income, we are at last because most of us are by ourselves, right? And with over half of the men and half of the women making just $50,000, it makes our household income the lowest. Whereas other people also don't have all of this money, but what they are doing is they are getting together and saying, okay, you can only do half. I can only do half. Let's put that 50 together. Now it's $100,000 home. Now I don't have to pay $2,000 rent on my own. Now I can pay just $1,000 and we can save more money together.
Why do men not approach certain women? Because y'all ask me all the time, how come I don't get approached? How come I don't get approached? Y'all, it could be so many reasons, okay? One of the reasons is because you already look taken. And a lot of times women don't realize if they look taken or not. Some women are or have been in long-term relationships where they just look taken. There are some women that look very single. There's some women that look desperate. So we have to understand. And also there's some that look so good, they can't afford you, but all they do is look and already assume that you're with someone very rich. Okay. So everything is different for every individual. If you're one of those women who are very beautiful, they may already think that you're with someone that has more money than them. Okay. This is why I tell you, if you're very, very beautiful, top of the line, and you have problems with people approaching you, you need to kind of downplay your fashion and your accessories. Because think about this. They don't think that you need them. They think you already got them. If you're full of jewelry and designer bags and designer clothing, they don't think they can impress you at all. But if you walk up in there with a Walmart purse on, a t-shirt, a denim jacket, and a nice pair of slacks and cute little heels, you don't look like they cannot upgrade you. You don't look like you're dating that billionaire. So you need to retire the designer purses and bust out the Walmart purses, bust out you a little casual but cute outfit that's not designer, take off all the jewelry, maybe one little dainty necklace, and look like they can do something for you, because they already think you're taken and well taken care of, living in somebody's penthouse with a driver, if you look that good.
A lot of these modern women don't really understand what they're losing. They think for some reason they're going to have their time in the sun forever, right? So you might have a good man or a solid man. Not saying the man is perfect. Not saying that, he got some stuff to work on. He got a lot of stuff to work on, but so do you. A lot of times, a lot of women think they're perfect. And so that man that was there for you, would do anything for you. You don't want that man. You want to go see other people. You want to go do your thing out there. You want to have a hot girl summer. But then when you stop messing around and you see that, oh, well, wait, actually, there's nobody going to take care of me like he does. I ain't going to come crawling back. By that time, he's moved on.
Ladies, don't get mad at me, but feminism ruined dating, and I can prove it. In 1960, nearly 80% of all adults were married, and today, it's only 50%. And that's according to Pew Research. You guys already know I'm going to say it. Birth rates, they are down over 60% since the 1960s. And it's not all just a choice. A lot of women say they just can't find good men. According to the recent New York Post headline, "Where have all the good men gone?" Why though? Where have they gone? Well, feminism told women, you don't need that man, go chase that bag. And women listened. But so did the men. The feminist movement doesn't just affect the women in society, by the way. Let's look at the numbers. It's 1 in 4 men under 30 who are not dating at all. It is at its highest rate in modern history. And when men are checking out, then women lose the option of traditional partnership. Now, any relationship is like a transactional battlefield. Who earns more? Who leads? Who pays for what? Who cleans? Who stays home for the kids? Are we having kids? It's all a scoreboard. It's all a competition now. Dating is what leads to marriage. Now, marriage was not always perfect, that's for sure, but it was a partnership with clear roles. Now it's more like a business deal where both sides try to compete instead of cooperate with each other. Agree or disagree? Drop a comment and let me know your thoughts. Do you think feminism has changed dating in a negative way? Let me know.
I'm seeing a lot of stupid discourse on that video I made about how like a lot of women today just are not as emotionally intelligent or mature as they think they are, just because men have so classically been the ones lacking that like now when the gap closes, you stop working on it. But the ironic part is I feel like when y'all see me make videos, you think that I agree with your incel points. Cause like I swear the only reason I don't like making videos about like women's accountability is because I always get red pill incel losers in the comments saying the dumbest. Then I gotta check you in the comments. Like I'm making comments and statements about just that is. I don't have a personal feeling against women or for men. I have a personal feeling for people who want to better themselves and the world around them. I'm anti. So it's like I get annoyed because I'll make a video about something that is real. Like women who actually do have a level of selfishness with them that they will never have corrected because they just never believe they have to, and they uphold some perfection they have, and then they listen to the echo chambers online saying that they're great the way they are and they never have to do anything to adjust. However, again, the existence of that has nothing to do with the fact that there are also an incredibly large amount of you male loser bozos who are part of the reason that continues. It's a never-ending cycle. Women don't want to hear from the men they do like because then they'll just tell themselves how that man was the wrong one, he's sassy, he's all these things. But there are also a lot of you lame dudes. Like, they're not wrong. Both things are true. And I wish more of you were not so dumb. Because then we could have any progress once we realize we all got to work on.
When I first started interviewing women in London, I really thought that these women were not real. And my first experience actually was a clip that went viral when I was interviewing a woman that I had met briefly in LA, and she was talking about her standards in a man. And she told me she required a pretty expensive engagement ring. I think it was around $250,000. So again, I did not think these women existed. I didn't think they were real until I started interviewing women and asking them what their standards were. Today, I'm going to talk about a tweet that I saw from a girl named Michaela. Tweeted her ideal man, and she said he has to be 6 foot plus, good facial bone structure, 120 IQ, deep voice, funny, assertive, a cowboy personality, and income over 130,000. Optional, Ivy League educated and old money. I have talked to a 27-year-old Los Angeles surgeon, a 28-year-old, 2 Ivy League degrees, son of a diplomat, rich, flies to a different state for haircuts and tennis with friends, a 23-year-old 6'4" UC Berkeley grad making $350,000 per year, and a 25-year-old MIT athlete frat boy who's now working as an engineer. One of them proposed. So I have a couple questions for Michaela. I have a lot of questions about just how realistic this is. Maybe it's more realistic than I think. I don't know. I'm welcome to being proven wrong.
And you know, I think modern women they're stunned. They're kind of like uncomfortable that they might have to be the ones to approach now. Why do I have to? What happened to the men? Who's going to be the boys? Well, the boys are still the boys. It's just the boys have learned what to do to stay out of trouble. And, you know, you've said some things, maybe you forgot that. And you've done some things, maybe you forgot that, to make the man feel like, oh, I'm not welcomed. I'm not wanted. My advances, me coming over and talking to them is not wanted. So let me stay back. At some point in time, modern women have to take accountability for what they've done in the dating market instead of trying to heap it all on men.
You know what's beautiful about this weather? If I peed right now, you wouldn't know if it's water or urine running down my legs. And I think that's beautiful.
I have a question for the men. Why do you guys, tap it on there a few times before you stick it in? What is that about?
A random thought. What a time to be alive for men right now. You can literally go to the gym and see the baddest ever walking around in literally next to nothing for free. You can go to the grocery store now. You're just seeing the fattest asses in front of you just swallowing up tiny little biker shorts. Coochie just eating those shorts up everywhere. Just girl at your local gym doing squats in this cute little bodysuit, just looking sexy. Coochie just swallowing up her skirt or shorts. And you don't even have to pay to see. You just have to show up to your local grocery store, gym, shopping mall, wherever. Everywhere you look, there's just hot chicks everywhere. You guys are lucky.
I give you full permission to me under one condition. You need to send me the evidence.
I'm getting back shots and I turn back and I look at him and he's giving me a devious smile. I'm not letting him pull out.
I just want a man who's gonna tell me to sit down and shut the fuck up. I'm not gonna do it, but it'll turn.
And what I found is, even if a woman presents herself as dominant, she wants her man to lead. And so, what I would encourage you to do is don't let her appearance of dominance intimidate you. When we feel unsafe, when we feel fear, we're all seeking control just to protect ourselves. So you could find a woman who starts off soft. You could be a guy who you've done therapy and wow, you're so in touch with your emotions. But now you just lost someone that you love and the grief is causing you to do things that you've never seen yourself do before. She just lost her job. She's feeling insecure like crazy. She's experiencing all types of emotions. So there's seasons where she may be soft now, then all of a sudden things are just causing her to feel like she has to regain control. Here's a moment of intimacy for you and your spouse. And everybody in the room, if you're dating, you can also ask these cool kind of questions. What are you afraid of? What's making you anxious? What are you anticipating? And go back to what I said, affirm her. Find out what she's afraid of. Find out her fears, her insecurities, her anxieties, her inferiorities. Where does she not feel like she measures up? Whatever you can, find that out and just speak to that. Speak to that, because leadership is not always what you do in deed, but it's in how you speak life over.
The only thing, like the reason why I don't have sympathy for girls when they keep complaining about getting dogged, beat on, cheated on, being single mothers, is because y'all just ignoring the good. I can't feel bad for a girl who tells me, I'm hungry, I'm starving, I haven't eaten in 6 weeks. Saying, hey, eat this pizza. I don't want pizza. Pizza nasty to me. You ain't that hungry. So when a girl is complaining, I want a good guy. I just want a guy who loves me, treats me right, takes me on dates, tells me I'm beautiful, doesn't cheat on me, doesn't leave me, treats me like a princess. And then some nigga come offer that, but you say, you know what? You're 5'8". I don't want that. I can't feel bad when the 6'5" punch you in your chin. I can't feel bad for you. I can't have sympathy because you're turning down the good guys. You're turning down the guy the exact you're saying you want. You get him and you turn him down. You look at him and say, you know what? We should probably just be friends. Okay, but you want to get by the who's nothing like you said you like. That's your fault then. That I can't have sympathy for it. You're turning down the good guys. The guys that you're saying is good. Like, if I say, like me personally, I say I want a soft girl. I say I want a really soft, innocent girl who doesn't do all that rada, yada, yada. You know, a nurturing girl. The one nurturing girl I met in my life, I made her my girlfriend. The one soft girl I met in my life, I made her my girlfriend. Like, I didn't pass up on it. Now, what I've been looking for since then, I need another soft girl. If I can't find another soft girl, I don't cut. I go on by my day. Y'all complain about what y'all want and you get it. Like, I don't want this shit. And then complain, oh my God, no one's giving me this. No, you turned it down. Bring a soft, nurturing girl my way, and I'm going to accept it immediately.
Won't get a response from me, ain't no confession. Before I tell the lie, if it's one thing a woman hates, boy, is a man that knows his value or what he's capable of. And I've experienced this personally, honestly. Like they, for whatever reason, those types dislike when you know exactly who you are as a person and they can't move the pieces on the chessboard the way they want to. Deep down, they know that you can go right back out to the dating market if they decide to leave and get another one of them or better in a heartbeat. And that alone makes you super attractive, but also very difficult to deal with because they can't manipulate you. You're either too smart to manipulate, you're too attractive to walk away from, you're too paid for them to call you broke. They hate it. There's no leverage. And they're like, bro, why is this so well equipped? Because whether I believe it or not, there are women that get with men just so they can have the upper hand. They can have leverage in the relationship and be able to do whatever it is that they want to do. But when you come in and you got all infinity stones, boy, they hate you. They hate you. The smart ones are like, okay, that's a man to follow. However, the other ones that like to manipulate and control the outcome of the relationship, nah, they dislike you a whole lot. And trust me, they're going to shame and try to guilt you into second guessing yourself like no other. They're going to tell you you're arrogant, you're conceited, you think you all that, you have a big ego, X, Y, and Z. All because you won't allow them to manipulate you. All because you stand on business. Fellas, don't fall for this shit. I promise you. The right woman's going to come around and appreciate you for being a well-rounded individual. If you take anything from the video, take this. The more you work on yourself in good faith, by the way, the better options you have in dating. That could be changing.
Guys, here's one thing that a manipulative woman does better than anyone else on this planet. It is make you feel less than. Make you feel insecure. Put scenarios in front of you, and then when you start to vocalize that you don't feel comfortable with it, now you're insecure and you're crazy. Women do this. Now let me give you an example and I'll tell you why. All right, so let's say she goes out with girlfriends, meets a guy at the bar, starts following on Instagram. You notice there's somebody new on her Instagram. You look, it's a new guy. You're like, hey, who's this guy? She's like, listen, I met him at the bar the other night. It's not a big deal. And you're like, I don't really like that. Now, the only thing that she chooses to do is say, you're insecure, you're crazy, and you're controlling. You back up thinking, am I all these things? Like, because I feel like what I'm saying is actually valid. I'm not feeling comfortable with this. You know why she calls you all of those things? Because she doesn't want to take accountability for it, because she knows what she did is wrong. That is it. So if she can say you're insecure, you're crazy, you're controlling, then the next time something like that happens, you're not going to bring it up because you're afraid of being called those things. So then she can just go beep bop through life doing all of these things and have you sit in the background and accept her behavior because you're too afraid to say that you have feelings towards whatever it is that she's doing that's actually disrespectful towards the relationship. It's extremely manipulative, but I hope this helps you.
Remember that comes in threes. In a marriage or relationship, first, it usually goes like this. First, there's of communication. Y'all stop talking. Then there's of trust. Y'all stop trusting. Then there's of intimacy, because y'all stop. But you will see her revitalize herself. You'll see her reanimate with a new haircut and sexier. So even though the relationship that you tried very hard to improve is dead, another man can bring her back to life just by complimenting her looks. No hard work, no paying the bills, no blood, sweat, and tears, no paying for education, just by noticing her new haircut and saying her new nail color is pretty. Life is a trip in a plane, because you will be high above the clouds 1 minute, but if you don't do any preventative maintenance, you will drop out the sky the next minute and crash and burn. But for all of you experiencing this, do not forget that a new phoenix rises from the ashes, and that is experience. You experience heartbreak. She taught you what you do not want, and that is an invaluable lesson. You do not want a woman who is not loyal. You don't want a woman who can be led away from you. You took care of her, paid for her to better herself, paid for a better car so she'd get where she needed to be safely. You paid for the experience, for the life lesson, and just like everything else you pay for, you own it.
You know what? You know, we talk about men opting out, not getting married, that sort of thing, because there's like legitimate legal risks to it. You got people out there, men out there, that subscribe to the belief that, hey, I'll be with it. I think I was listening to what's his name on whatever podcast that was kind of saying the same thing, and can't remember his name, his last name, Justin, tall guy, white guy, I think, might be from Louisiana. So I don't even know if he's really white. He might be black, just light skin. I'm just joking, but am I? He grew up around black people, so maybe. Anyway, he subscribes to that belief. I'm not saying don't get married. I'm just saying there's a lot of guys out there that look at the math on that, and they're doing the math and they're trying to figure out, okay, so where do I benefit? What's in it for me? Will you get a companion? Do I really? Do I get a friend, or do I have more responsibility? Do I have another bill? Do I have more